Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Joey Galvez, one half of your host of Explain Yourself, and I want to let you guys know about a really cool book from our friend of the show, Eli Shockey. This one is called The Greylock, and it's a story where magic is a commodity. Potions are sold at corner stores. Orcs and dwarves earn a living in cubicles, not on the battlefields. But there are those who resist the house's magic's laws. Branded a criminal and forced to live as a wand for hire, there is a spell slinger they call the Greylock. Check this one out. You guys can pre-order issue 3 right now with code JAN241939, and make sure you guys are heading over to your favorite LCS and letting them know that you want Greylock number 3, and maybe pick up the first 2 issues. You could do that at the Scout web store. So make sure you guys are grabbing the Greylock number 3, JAN241939 at previewsworld.com.
Okay, everybody. I have something really cool to tell you about. If you haven't heard yet about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain here. It's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one single place. Now, the way that you can do this is you got to download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm, and then you can get started. It's really fun. We just switched over recently here at All Too Real 2, and I'm enjoying it so far. So be sure to check it out and let us know what you think. Okay, everybody, welcome to the latest episode of All Too Real 2. My name is Michael E. Cullen II, and with me via Zoom is
Matthew Stir Haas.
Is that Andalorian or
No, that is a cocaine-fueled / magic mushroom hallucinogenic trip, otherwise known as a segment of the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Yes. If you didn't know by the description of this episode that you chose to listen to, we are covering the Star Wars Holiday Special, which is a 1978 American television special set in the universe of Star Wars. Yes.
Somehow.
Yes. It was directed by Steve Binder.
Kill him.
Yes.
Sorry.
It was written by Pat Proft, Leonard Rips, Bruce Valanche, Rob Warren, and Mitzi Welch. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we're done. That's it, right? Oh,
that's it. It's over. The episode is fucking over. I swear to God, I do not want to talk about this movie. I think, if this does take place in the Star Wars universe, I genuinely believe that it's in the mind of Lumpy, who is Chewbacca's son, and that he has either one or multiple severe psychiatric disorders, and he needs to be medicated pronto because I don't even know what to make of some of this stuff in the movie. I really don't. And don't even say it to be insulting. I'm just saying from a sort of just medical perspective, like you know, like for example, if you're a child who is waiting for your dad to come home, and then you switched on the thing, and then you're watching a cartoon that is displaying what your father is currently experiencing at that time, but in cartoon format. Either you are psychic, or this is a whole thing that's just a complete hallucination or delusion. Either way, it's not very safe. So Lumpy, I think, needs some immediate kind of assistance at the moment.
Yes.
Well, not at the moment because he's 42 years old, but whatever. So hopefully he's had help since that time.
Well, I mean, the fact that Chewbacca's family, two of them are named after things you can probably get when you have an STD.
Yes, and
you can become itchy or lumpy, and
we'll explain that part later. Yes.
Yes. But anywho, so yeah, I had to watch this over the course of 4 sittings.
Wow.
I couldn't watch it all in one go. I did watch the majority of it on the 4th sitting, but over half of it.
Wow.
But still, the first time I watched about 10 minutes each, you know, the first 3 times. So,
yeah, I watched the whole in one sitting. And that's probably why I was so freaked out by the drug trip that movie was, and quite literally, though, as you explained to me. So,
yes. So, okay, a little background here. This was a holiday special that aired on CBS on in November of 1978, like a year and a half after the original Star Wars film A New Hope came out. And this the events of this movie supposedly take place in between that and The Empire Strikes Back. Back then in the 70s, variety shows were pretty popular. You know, like Donnie and Marie and, you know, those type of things. Tony Orlando and Dawn and all those good, you know, shows where you would have normally a charismatic host of some sort or two, like Donnie and Marie, and then you'd have like different, you know, things happen in it. Like, you know, there'd be a comedian, there'd be a guy spinning plates, there'd be a guy you know, juggling or whatever, and, you know, a musical guest and things of that nature. So they tried to throw all that into this and create a narrative around it as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Somehow a narrative. I mean, it's a very loose narrative. Very loose. God damn, sorry. This movie is so... It's hard to... It's one of those things where it's hard to talk about because I think it was Richie Rich's Christmas Wish or one of the, I don't know which one, where so much stuff is going on that it's hard to just focus on one thing. So then it's like, ironically, it's easier to talk about a movie that doesn't actually even have a lot going on in it because you can sort of just focus on that one part instead of like, okay, do I focus on the weird music video where it got like the green space guy is playing some kind of a trumpet and Lumpy is just mesmerized for like 6 straight minutes while they're doing like this weird like Circus Soleil type of dance, or do I focus on the weird virtual reality porn that grandfather Itchy is watching, and it's like, what do I focus on?
So, a little bit about this special.
And it is special.
Yeah. The cast included, Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, Anthony Daniels, Peter Mayhew, the voice of James Earl Jones, all from the Star Wars movies. It also included B. Arthur, a.k.a. Maude, or Dorothy from the Golden Girls. Art Carney, a.k.a. Ed Norton from The Honeymooners. And then you had appearances by Harvey Korman, as in the amazingly talented comedic actor from The Carol Burnett Show and Blazing Saddles and a million other things. Yeah. And you had appearances by Jefferson Starship, Diane Carroll, and yeah. Oh God.
Ooh, was Diane Carroll? Who was she in there?
She was the singer who was doing like softcore porn.
Oh yeah, the ASMR on JOI stuff. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, but that's what it is. Just being honest, that's what it was. Saying stuff like "I am your fantasy" and the really sensual voice, that virtual reality. I mean,
So, do you want me to describe the plot, or do you want to, Matt?
We could do half-seas, I guess.
Okay.
We're both sane.
Do you want me to start, or you?
Can I start at the very beginning?
Go ahead.
Thank you. Because I got to get this off my chest. So, the very beginning actually looks like a Star Wars movie, albeit, lower production, made for TV, fine. Han Solo and Chewie are, in the Millennium Falcon. Millennium Falcon. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. And then he's telling Chewie, like, all right, we're going to get you home for Life Day. And then Chewie's like, arguing back, tell him to go faster. He's like, we'll get there when we get there, whatever. We gotta, we'll get you there in time. So that, that part for the first, 30 seconds right there, looks like a Star Wars movie. But for TV, well, that's amazing. You're going to have a Star Wars movie for TV, and then they're going to have Empire Strikes Back come out like 6 months to a year later. Awesome. You got a nice little in-between, sweet spot. This is going to be great. Every kid's going to just love this movie. And then it goes straight into Chewbacca's family, who, for like 10 straight minutes, is just them making their noises. No subtitles, nothing. And you're just left interpreting what they're saying to each other, which you could sort of understand here and there, because Lumpy, the child, is being kind of a brat, and Grandpa is like yelling at him because he's like playing with like an airplane, like a starship, spaceship, and he's like hovering over his grandpa's head, and he's, Grandpa's getting grumpy about it, so then he kind of yells at him, and then, Lumpy, sags his shoulders and his head down and walks away, and then he wants to eat like a cookie or something. Then Mama Wookiee doesn't want him to eat that, so then he makes him put it back, and he's all sad. And then she like lets him watch like this kind of, like Chewie always watches those people play chess type of thing. Well, it was kind of like one of those devices, but it was like this really weird, elaborate song and dance where like this green dude is like playing like some type of wind instrument, and then it's like this really mesmerizing like choreographed dance. It was pretty cool. I mean, mind you, if this belonged in any other movie, it did have nothing to do with Star Wars. It would be kind of interesting. But Lumpy is just literally staring at this for like 6 straight minutes. I mean, like, I don't think he blinked once, and I'm like, okay, like he's really, really into this. Then it stops, then they grunt some more and walk around the house. Itchy, the grandfather who has a STD, most likely, he's walking around with his cane. My theory is that Chewie's mom kicked him out of the house, and that's why he lives with Chewie and his wife, because of all the softcore pornography he watches. Or maybe he's on here, I don't know. And then this goes on literally for probably 10, 12 minutes. Like, there's no pacing in this film whatsoever. Like, they had to fill a 2-hour time slot for some reason. Why couldn't it have been an hour? Who knows? Or even an hour and a half with commercials. So that would be like maybe an hour tops. No, they needed to go to full 2 hours. So they had to fill in, an hour and 37 minutes of, movie, if you want to call it a movie.
Yep.
Okay, and then what happens?
Okay, so at some point we Mala contacts Luke Skywalker. Mala is, by the way, is Chewie's wife. Because she's worried about why Han and Chewie haven't shown up yet. And Luke is like working along with R2-D2, and Mark Hamill, who had an accident prior to that, is wearing like really heavy makeup that makes him look like a drag queen or something.
Yeah, literally.
Or like he's, a mime or whatever. He's got like more makeup on than like Tammy Faye Baker. And
totally. I said he looks like a femboy fantasy of Ben Shapiro.
Yes.
I got nothing against femboys at all. I'm just saying that's what he looked like,
And you have nothing against Ben Shapiro either, right?
Oh, of course not.
Oh God. Anyways, we've got he's working on his X-wing fighter with R2-D2. Luke is, and he tells Mala he doesn't know what's going on. Mala then contacts a local trader named Son Dan, played by Art Carney. He's kind of a suave guy, even though he's kind of like the I don't know, the Lando Calrissian prototype, but he's not at all Billy D. Williams. And
like a dollar store Lando.
Yeah. It's like, like when you order Lando Calrissian on Wish, this is what you get. And he has a he tells her that he, through like a carefully worded message that Han and Chewie are on their way. Somehow he knows. Yeah. Yeah, so then Mala goes to try to cook some stuff. And she's trying to prepare this meal. And she's watching like a cooking show that is there's a 4-armed alien woman played by Harvey Korman named Chef Gormanda. I don't know, whatever it is. Anyways, and she's crazy.
Was he? Maybe it was just my TV. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I need to know this actually, because you might know more about this than I do probably. But in my TV, it looked like almost like he was in blackface a little bit. Maybe it was just my TV, but
I think they made him like slightly like purplish or something.
Oh, okay, so maybe that's what.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, he did have like a little bit of a coloration to his skin. I don't think it was like blackface per se, but Yeah, and so later on, Son arrives with some Life Day gifts for everyone, including a virtual reality fantasy program for Itchy. And this program, he does this thing where he's like it's wow, and then he shakes his hand like, man, basically almost implying like, go ahead and jerk off, buddy. And
Pretty much.
yeah, the fantasy program is Diane Carroll singing a song at some point, but before that she's just basically doing ASRM softcore pornography noises. I'm just like,
Really?
I'm like, what was Diane Carroll thinking when they asked her to do this?
I have no idea. I mean, because she was getting really, really sensual. I mean, it was getting to the point where I'm like, this was made for kids. I mean, like, she's all like, take it all in.
I mean,
and like, I am your fantasy. I'm like, holy shit.
I mean,
like,
she was like an award-winning actress. She was known for her title role in Julia, which, which was the first television show to star an African-American woman in the lead.
They paid her a lot of money to do it.
I know. I'm just like, okay. But anyways,
maybe she didn't know it was going to be as bad as like maybe she filmed her part.
Yeah,
and it seemed okay just by itself, but then they added all the shit later. I
don't know. Anyways, we then go back to the Falcon. Chewie and Han, they have come out of hyperspace and they're not too far from Kashyyyk, which is the home planet of the Wookiees. Which is still canon. That part is, Kashyyyk is still their home planet. Han notices that there's a bunch of like Imperial ships and stuff around, so they decide to land on the north side of the planet, but I guess Chewie's family's on the other side. So Lumpy gets all excited because he starts hearing a roaring of a ship, and so we think that maybe Chewie and Han are arriving. They open the door, and they find 2 stormtroopers and some officers. The Imperials force their way into the house. They're trying to search for Chewbacca. The Art Carney's character, Son, and others attempt to distract them with food, and then one of the officers who's wearing a Death Star outfit, which no Imperial officer would wear outside of the Death Star. Just wanted to point that out. That guy, Son distracts him with a music box that features a video by Jefferson Starship, which is the best part of the whole fucking thing, because the song's actually decent.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I wrote too later on that it looks like a pink dildo saber. And
yes.
I don't know why my mind is I'm having very blue thoughts and humor lately for some reason.
That's because you're blue, Baba Dee, Baba Doo, or whatever.
Blue, by the way, is British slang for kind of like, raunchy or whatever. I don't know. That's what it looked like. It literally looked like.
I know.
Maybe not intentionally, but how they colored it with the technology they had back then for that kind of thing, that's literally what it looked like. So I'm like, okay. Also, too, can I mention Itchy's fantasy again for a second?
Yeah, go ahead. Mention it as much as you want.
To me, that's the highlight of the whole film, is Itchy's virtual reality fantasy. Okay, so the whole point this device is that it's not actually virtual reality. It's actually something far more advanced than that. Because what this does is that it actually puts your thoughts onto the screen or whatever it is. So this means Itchy was actually thinking about this woman that he either just conjured up in his own mind or had actually seen her at some point in time, which again, I think is the latter, because I'm going back on my theory that he may have cheated on his wife with her somehow, and then I'm not sure how a beautiful woman like that would be attracted to Itchy, but whatever. That's, we're in Star Wars universe here, so it's different. And he's like thinking about her again, because he hasn't seen her in a while. Because after his wife kicked her out, she didn't actually know he was married. She thought he was single, and that's the only reason why she slept with him. But then when she found out that he got kicked out of the house by his wife, then she cut everything off. Like, all right, well, we can't see each other anymore because I don't get involved with adulterers and stuff like that and like home wreckers. So we're finished. And then he still has these fantasies about her. And then lo and behold, this guy shows up and gives him a device that allows him to not just have the fantasies in his own mind, but now is allowed to appear on like a screen. That's my theory, at least. My headcanon.
I think that would have been a better special than the one we watched.
Yes, it's more of a narrative at least than what we have.
Uh-huh.
It might be a bad narrative, but at least
it's like
it follows.
It's like the Wookiee equivalent of like General Hospital or something. I mean, it's like a soap opera.
Yeah, exactly. General Hospital. No. And also too. So can I keep talking about this for a second?
Go ahead, talk about it as long as you want.
So the fact is, like, you're right that like he's like doing like the whole like wink wink nudge nudge thing. He's like, oh, it's hard to explain this thing. You'll figure it out. And he's like, hey, like it's just like, what the fuck. Yeah. And also too, this is interesting because this is before virtual reality was even kind of like really talked about that much. So this is pretty advanced idea for a technology 42 years ago.
Yeah.
We're just starting to have like the Oculus that came out like a couple of years ago and stuff like that.
I mean, this is even before like, Lawnmower Man or any of that crap. Yeah.
So a few things from this movie actually were kind of ahead of its time. Like even to like the hologram stuff, which I know some movies have done already before, but like just
including Star Wars.
Exactly, with Chewie and the chess matches that he likes to watch.
Yeah,
same kind of device, which is like a cool holographic sort of like TV, if you will, which is interesting because why don't they have actual regular TVs when they have something like this that's actually more advanced than a television would be? You'd think that there would be a few televisions around like as an antique or a vintage.
Well, they do have those like hidden televisions and communication boxes. Yeah.
Okay, but that's where they do like conlinks and stuff like that, and not for entertainment, I guess. They've advanced beyond televisions. Now they got the cool holographic stuff. Anyway, sorry, go ahead. I want to go back to Itchy's fantasy of the really pretty woman that he cheated with on his wife.
Did you want to take a quick break and come back to this, Matt?
Sure.
Okay, we'll be right back, folks.
Hello, I'm Tom.
And I'm Brian.
Hosts of Be Hero Fights.
Home of the greatest debates of our time.
We tackle the tough topics such as
Fortnite vs. Call of Duty.
McDonald's vs. Burger King.
John Wick vs.
Wait, is that really fair?
Nevertheless, join us weekly on Spotify, Apple, Google, and pretty much anywhere you can find podcasts.
And hear the madness ensue.
And as always,
fight on.
And we are back. Okay. Yes. So, okay, Lumpy watches his porn. We already talked about that. I mean, Itchy does, not Lumpy. That would have been different. Anyways,
6 years old.
So okay. Anyways, okay, we got to the point where Jefferson Starship is on there. Okay. After that, the officers continue to search the house and basically like destroy everything. While they're searching his room, Lumpy watches a cartoon of his father's many adventures. I don't think this was going on concurrently with what was happening, because Han and Chewie were already landed on Kashyyyk at that time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This was like I guess somehow there's a cartoon in this universe about Han Solo and Chewbacca and Luke Skywalker and stuff.
Yeah, I guess so. And by the way, Han Solo looks fucking weird in this cartoon.
Oh yeah, he does.
Like nothing like.
He looks like like some kind of LSD Hunter S. Thompson dream or something. From what was that movie? The Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas or something. Anyways, so they're during the cartoon. Okay, there's the basic premise of the cartoon is there's a search for this talisman, and the Millennium Falcon crashes on the water moon planet of Pana. And you have like all the main characters aboard. Anyways, they run into Boba Fett, who saves Luke from a giant monster and claims that he wants to help the rebels. Turns out he was working for Darth Vader. I think this cartoon sucked, by the way.
Yeah, it wasn't that good.
Yeah, so basically it's the only good thing about the cartoon is the introduction of Boba Fett.
Literally, that's it.
Yeah.
Plus, Boba Fett's a fucking animal abuser in this cartoon, though.
Yeah.
He keeps picking the dinosaur or whatever he's riding and telling it to shut up and, berated Luke for giving it food. And it's like, Jesus Christ, dude. Like, what the fuck's the matter with you?
Yep. Just like the Boba Fett we know.
Pretty much.
Well,
So
at
Boba
that point, nobody knew who Boba Fett was. Period. So.
No, because literally it was just the first introduction of him. Which later on we know more about him through the movies like the Clone War, Attack of the Clones, and stuff like that, and the Empire, and Return of the Jedi and stuff. So it's like, I don't understand how he could work for the Empire. I thought he hated the Empire. Maybe he just works for anyone that pays him, I guess, or something. But
well, he does. He kind of worked for he was kind of working hand in hand with Darth Vader and Empire.
Right.
On Cloud City, but so was Lando at that point too. So,
right. But what I'm saying is, he watched Mace Windu cut his father's, head off in Attack of the Clones, and the Empire pretty much just like an extension of the Republic as far as what the people see. That's the thing. Everyone, the audience knows that the Empire pretty much just transplanted, the Republic, but the people think that the Republic just sort of transitioned into the Empire. They don't know that there was like a coup. So like, from Boba Fett's perspective, he probably would think the Empire is just the Republic with a new name. So why would he work for the very people that cut his father's head off? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it's just like the modern day Republicans who still think that they're the party of Lincoln, and
exactly. We sometimes get political here.
Yes.
It's
okay.
It's a variety show. It's a variety show. Except that we don't have ASMR JOI porn here. But You know, so sorry if that's what you're looking for. We don't do that here.
Not yet. That's what our whole next episode is going to be about, Matt. The whole episode.
It's itchy doing ASMR.
The whole episode is just me going, ooh. Ah.
Oh God.
Okay. Anyways, that's nice. That's what it's going to be like with me, folks. So if you want to tune in, All 2 ASMR is our new podcast. Anyways, God. So at some point, God, I hate this thing. At some point, Lumpy was had some kind of device thing that he was trying to put together, and he was watching a like an infomercial about how to put it together.
Yeah, it was on for like 5 minutes.
That had a incompetent robot played by Harvey Korman in it.
What the fuck? Yeah, you get the pitch shifting and all that. I'm like, seriously, what the fuck are we watching here?
I know.
How could anyone working on this movie actually think this was a good idea? Like, literally, I understand they wrote the script in one night when they were doing cocaine. Okay, that's writing the script. How did people actually put this together, literally taking hours out of their day, probably working around the clock, and actually think, yeah, you know what? Let's just have an infomercial of a guy teaching someone how to build a computer and have that go on for 7 straight minutes. But, that's not enough. We need to make sure that the guy's voice is pitch shifting all weird and he's like being wound down like one of those toys where you wind up and put his head down and falling asleep. What the fuck does that got to do with Star Wars? Furthermore, what does the cooking show have to do with Star Wars? I swear to God, when he's going like, stir, whip, stir, whip, 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 stir, and it keeps going faster, and like, whip, whip, stir, it's like, oh my fucking God, like, what is going on here?
Well, I mean, to be fair, at this point, nobody knew what Star Wars was about yet, because there had only been one movie.
Yeah, but that one movie at least had some inclination. Yeah, okay, we don't know the rest of the 8 movies are going to be like fine, but this you watch A New Hope and you watch this, you know there's nothing like what New Hope is going on in this movie. There was nothing in New Hope with a robot alien going stir, whip, 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 stir, and like then like putting their fourth arm and like
there wasn't
beating what's that?
There wasn't in the version I watched. There was.
No, well, maybe you had like the extended cut. You know that you should just throw in the trash immediately. But oh Jesus Christ! This movie, man, I swear to fucking God, this movie.
Well, this special.
Special killed me. Then you got the B. Arthur song, which was actually touching in a weird way. Where the Empire closed down all the businesses. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so to get to that, what we had was a thing where they required viewing of random people in the Mos Eisley Cantina. I don't know why, but Ackmena is the character that B. Arthur's playing. Mind you, I think Tony Award-winning, Emmy Award-winning B. Arthur. Yeah.
Was too good for this role.
Yeah. So was Art Carney. So was Diane Carroll. So was everybody associated with this whole fucking thing.
Everyone except for Itchy was better than this movie. Itchy's fine where he stays, but because no one talks about him ever again after this movie.
Yeah. So, anyways, there's this whole scene where Harvey Korman is playing an alien who drinks out of the top of his head.
God damn it.
I'm just trying to figure out, I love Harvey Korman, but I'm trying to figure out where they decided, hey, we're going to go all in on Harvey Korman on this special.
Yeah, literally all in. He's in 3 separate fucking roles. Different 3 characters in one movie.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, why are they gonna make everything so weird? Like literally everything, not one thing can be normal. Like, I'm by no means a normal person. I'm a weird fucking dude. But like, this movie killed me, dude. Like, I mean, it literally, not literally, but it figuratively killed me because I'm talking to you right now. But like, it figuratively killed me because like everything is just slightly off, and that's the weird thing about this movie is that a few things are completely out of this world, but most of it is just slightly off. That it just has like this almost like needling effect, you know, where it's just like like you'd almost just hope that someone would just punch you in the face because at least then you just had the full experience. But it's like someone just flicking your nose constantly for an hour and a fucking half, you know, flick, 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 or whether should I say stir, flick, stir, flick, 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 stir.
Yeah, my new hope is that somebody punches me in the face.
Me too. So yeah, she pours this. By the way, too. So can we also talk about the fact that he's like stalking her and thinks that he's in love with her or that she's in love with him or her? Because she told him 6 words.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. 6 words. You know what those 6 words were? Do you remember them?
No, I don't.
Okay, he wrote 6 words that he interpreted as her undying love for him when he was in the pit of despair and was going to give up on life. She told him 6 words before he left that made him want to live again and to love again. And those 6 words are, and I quote, "Come back again, I'll be waiting." And she says it to another customer right as he's leaving, and then he realizes that she says that to every customer. And then he gets up and leaves after his fucking beer is pouring down his skull or something like that.
And then, the Empire says that everybody needs to go back to their homes.
Yep. Lockdown! You see? It's just like the COVID stuff, man! Star Wars Holiday Special predicted COVID, man!
Yep.
You gotta rewatch it over and over to collect the clues, man. It won't make you go insane if you watch it 14 times in a row.
This is how QAnon was started.
I think it was. It's how we started from watching this. Like, you know what? Maybe COVID, or sorry, the so-called COVID, shrinks our heads to the point that we can't drink out of our mouths anymore. We got to pour it directly into our skulls. But then that is what actually creates, you know, the urge to go vote for Joe Biden. Which I know did not win the election.
Well, the reason that they're making us wear masks is because eventually we're going to have to drink through the top of our heads, so we don't need our mouths anymore.
Exactly. And then, you know, we're going to have B. Arthur say, come back again, I'll be waiting, and then we're going to think that we love B. Arthur. I mean, who doesn't love B. Arthur? We're just saying, but whatever.
I mean, she was Dorothy.
And she was Maude. Well,
yep.
I don't know Maude a feminism.
I was going to say, that show had an abortion in one episode, so that's evil.
Oh, it did? Oh, I can't watch that show no more. Oh, by the way, so, you know, speaking of Maude and thereby, you know, All in the Family, which Maude was a spinoff of.
Yeah.
Did you not know that you know, Archie is the everyman that you know,
he's the hero.
If you're a conservative and watch All in the Family, that when you watch Archie go off his rants, you're actually supposed to agree with him instead of mocking him, which is the whole point of the show. Did you know that? He's
the hard-working American
who got a job from his uncle. Yep. Nepotism.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But fuck that Mike Stivic.
But fuck that guy, and plus, you know,
that meathead.
You know, so, you know, I just wanted to let the audience know that. Plus, too, also, that Rat Nip is the greatest band of all time. You should look them up. You know, if you want really good, keen political commentary, look up the singer of Rat Nip, because he's got all the great points.
Yes.
Anyway.
Will not say his name because I don't want to get sued. Anyways,
exactly, because he's such a tough guy who's, you know, yeah.
So, who claims that Michelle Obama is a man because she had short hair once.
Oh, God damn it. Okay, but when they say man, okay, so what they mean, they mean transgender, which of course they don't like trans people, so they interpret that as being she's a man who's pretending to be a woman. Be clear to the audience, I'm not saying that. That's what they mean when they say that. And that theory, well, quote theory, goes back to like at least 2012 with Alex Jones and all those idiots, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
But back to something that really makes sense in the world, Matt.
Yeah, yes.
The Star Wars Holiday Special. So yeah, we get a cool song sung by B. Arthur at one point.
Trying to get the people to leave her bar.
Yes. It was actually a good song. Probably the second best part of the whole special. I don't know. That and Jefferson Starship. And I forget the pornography. Anyways, basically, okay, the stormtroopers are still destroying the fucking house looking for shit. I don't even know what they're looking for.
Yeah, that's the thing I never understood. Why are they ransacking a house when they're waiting for Chewbacca to get there?
Yeah, it's not like Chewbacca can hide.
Exactly.
He's like an 8-foot tall walking carpet. Like, you're not gonna see that. Like,
but dude, you totally know that when cops come to your house or whatever, and they're like, ransacking your house or waiting for someone else to come home because they're gonna arrest that person. You know that it's so easy to distract them by going, hey, why don't you go watch this 10-minute long music video and just sit them in front of a computer? And they're like, okay, I guess I'll just watch this for 10 minutes, right? Yep. I mean, come on, like
all the time. If only, the whole Black Lives Matter movement knew that.
Yeah, exactly.
All they had to do when they were protesting to not get attacked by the cops was to show them some Jefferson Starship.
Exactly.
That's all it took.
With the pink dildo saber, yes.
Yep.
So,
I think at the next protest, that's what people need to start doing. Just carry around a holographic representation of Jefferson Starship, circa 1978, and show that to the to the cops. That'll help.
Yeah.
If only. Anyways, so they basically what Lumpy was using that computer thing he was building.
Mm-hmm.
He did it to make a fake call for the Imperials to return to their base.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's what, okay.
Yeah. They leave, but one stormtrooper stays behind and realizes that they were tricked. He finds Lumpy and destroys the machine. Computer thingy-mabobber. Then he chases Lumpy outside where they're like balancing on the porch of their tree house. Yeah. So then Han and Chewie arrive. Chewie protects Lumpy, and Han kills the stormtrooper in a holiday special.
Well, he didn't kill him exactly. The guy fell off because his gun fell and he tripped over his gun.
Yeah,
he fell down.
And if we know anything from people falling in Star Wars things, that does not mean that they're dead.
Yeah, well, if you're a Jedi. But,
well, no. What I'm saying is, Luke fell. He didn't die. Darth
Oh,
Maul.
that's right.
Darth Maul fell down, didn't die.
Right.
Palpatine fell down, didn't die.
Yeah.
Boba Fett fell.
That's right,
Didn't
Boba
die.
Fett. Somehow Palpatine returned. That's my favorite line ever in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we have no way of explaining this, so somehow Palpatine returned.
Yep.
And then we get that in the mouth of a character that has, like, nothing to do with, like, the Jedi or anything like that. It's like, fucking Poe.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, do you have any force powers? No. Okay, go to hell. We don't care about you right now. Don't talk about, Sith shit, right now. Because you have no bearing on this conversation. Get the fuck out of here, Poe.
Sith shit.
That's what I would have said. But,
Sith shit.
yeah. Yeah, I like that. Sith shit, man.
Yeah.
Oh, god damn.
There's a guy, I can't remember his name right now, but he hosts a podcast called Full of Sith.
I like it.
Yeah. There's a anyways, basically an Imperial officer appears on a view screen in their living room, giving a general alert for the missing stormtrooper. Our good old smooth guy Son quickly responds to the trooper, and it responds that the trooper stole supplies and then deserted. And they just believe it.
Exactly. They're like, oh, okay. We'll look into that.
So, with everything, all the danger averted and everything, the family prepares to go to the festival at the Great Tree of Life. They hold some glowing orbs and appear in space wearing red robes. And there's some, like, really weird acid trip, and then they arrive at the Tree of Life, where many are gathered, including C-3PO and R2-D2, Luke, Leia, and Han as well. Leia gives a short speech and takes over this, like, celebration for some reason and sings a really annoying song. Yeah, and then Chewie remembers his adventures during the events of the original film. Finally, the Wookiee family sits around a table and bow their heads. And the fucking thing is over, Matt. It's over.
It's over. God damn.
Yeah.
And then you got the credits, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God. One more point, too. Just thought of this. So, Lumpy's, like, probably, like, maybe 5 years old at this point.
Yeah.
And, the way he acts. And he's sitting there trying to build this computer, to help his family. Meanwhile, Grandpappy Itchy can't take a break from his fucking Oculus porn. It's like, Jesus Christ, dude. Did you do anything around this house? Like, I think they should have done a spin-off about Itchy and his porn addiction. Like, that would have been an interesting, narrative right there.
Yes.
He cannot be taken away from it. He just sits in that chair all day long. And, like, he might get up here and there to, like, get a glass of water, eat, like, a cookie or something. Then he goes straight back to, that woman. Or who knows, maybe he'll imagine up another person or something like that. Or,
Or maybe a Wookiee this time. Anyways,
yeah, exactly. Apparently he's only into, like, different species or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
do you want to take a break, Matt?
sure.
Yeah, we'll come back with some trivia and some reviews or something, maybe. I don't know. We'll be right back, folks. My head hurts.
Do you have dreams that you want to achieve, but are scared to do so due to self-doubt, fear, and other people's criticism? I have just what you need. You need a dose of the Living the Dream with Curveball podcast, where I interview guests that will motivate and inspire you to stop at nothing to achieve your dreams. And always remember, if you believe, you can achieve.
And we are back. Oh, God. Okay, so you want to hear some trivia about this, Matt?
Yes, I would actually.
Okay. According to Carrie Fisher, George Lucas gave her a copy of the special as a gift for recording the DVD commentary for Star Wars A New Hope. She claimed that she played it at parties when she wanted her guests to leave. George Lucas famously tried and failed to buy up all the master copies to make sure it was never broadcast again. The special has never been released on video, but bootleg videos circulated for years, and the show can be seen all over the internet, such as YouTube, where I watched it. George Lucas remarked at an Australian convention, "If I had the time and a sledgehammer, I would track down every bootlegged copy of that program and smash it." Yeah, Harrison Ford didn't want to appear in this, but was convinced later. B. Arthur claims she only appeared in the special because her youngest son was a big fan of Star Wars.
Wow.
The Life Day song that Carrie Fisher sings is based on the theme song from Star Wars. Fisher demanded that she be allowed to sing in this special, but she didn't like the song. According to David Akamba, he recommended Robin Williams for the special, but the producers turned him down. This is before Robin was anybody, really. A scene in it featuring Darth Vader talking to an officer on the Death Star was actually cut footage from Star Wars A New Hope. In that scene, Leslie Schofield, who portrays Chief Bast, appeared as an unidentified officer. An unused scene of stormtroopers searching Tatooine is also used. The cantina sequence took an entire day to shoot. The actors in the alien costumes began to pass out due to lack of oxygen. Oxygen tanks were provided for them to use between takes.
God. Wow.
So, Son Dan was an early incarnation of Lando Calrissian. I guess I was right. In early drafts of the Star Wars, of Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, George Lucas describes him as a gambler who runs a general store on Kashyyyk, a guy who trades with the Indians.
Wow.
George Lucas came up with the idea of focusing on Chewbacca's family. Writer Bruce Valanche objected because the dialogue would be all in Wookiee language. He feared that the special would turn into one long episode of Lassie. But Lucas refused to change it. According to Valanche, Lucas's originally intended for the story of Chewbacca's family to appear somewhere in the Star Wars saga. Yeah, I guess at one point Lucas wanted to make a movie that was just about Wookiees.
Wow.
And I imagine without subtitles.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Wow.
Yeah, basically, almost everybody involved in the project is embarrassed by it. Yeah, Mark Hamill has even cleverly dodged most questions asked of him about it. So according to Mitzi Welch, the sequence with Diane Carroll was intended to be softcore porn that would pass the censors.
Yep, see, I was right.
Yeah, Bruce Valanche has admitted that he was using cocaine heavily while helping to write the special.
Probably because he hated the idea, so he's like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Better take some drugs.
Mark Hamill was recovering from reconstructive surgery after a near fatal car accident. That's why his face looks like that in the movie. The special. David Acumbo was the original director, but he quit after a few days of shooting. He directed the musical numbers by B. Arthur and Jefferson Starship, the two best part. He also commissioned the animated segment featuring Boba Fett.
Wow. Which also wasn't that good.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
excuse me.
Mala, Lumpy, and Itchy are actually nicknames of their actual names. Mala Tabuk, Lumpa Rompa Rump, and Edichuk. I apologize to anybody that's from Kashyyyk that I might be mispronouncing those words.
Yeah.
I'm very sorry to any Wookiees listening.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Yes.
I'm also sorry that your planet and species was, totally just made to be a mockery of by this fucking movie.
Yes. Yeah, the Ambin sniper rifle, which Boba Fett uses in the animated short, was adapted into official canon. It is a standard weapon of Din Djarin in The Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so. All right, that's some trivia. There's a lot more, but
Okay. Can I read the small excerpt?
Yes, you
from
can.
the George Lucas biography called George Lucas: A Life by Brian J. Jones.
Okay.
It's a really short one because, like I said, I think he wanted to do George Lucas a solid by not talking too much about it.
Yes.
So it says, while it seemed there was no detail too small for Lucas to involve himself in, he was still handpicking his staff and approving merchandise. There was one project he had ceded almost entirely to others, a Star Wars holiday special, which CBS planned to air the week before Thanksgiving. Lucas had engaged with the project early, sitting down with television writer Bruce Valanche to go over a story treatment that provided only some very vague but ambitious basics. It would take place on Chewbacca's home planet, Kashyyyk. The Wookiee family would overcome Imperials on their way to celebrating the holiday Life Day, and much of the special would involve Wookiees speaking to one another in their own language of grunts and roars, without the help of subtitles. Valanche listened carefully, then exhaled slowly. You've chosen to build a story around these characters who don't speak, he told Lucas incredulously. The only sound they make is like fat people having an orgasm. Lucas glared back unamused, and Valanche threw up his hands in surrender. Lucas, said Valanche, quote, had what a director needs to have, which is this insane belief in their personal vision, and he was somehow going to make it work. It didn't. Lucas, preoccupied with making Empire and building his company, put the special entirely in the hands of its veteran producers, Dwight Hemian and Gary Smith, and opted instead to view video footage of the work as it was completed. But as he watched his characters woven into painfully unfunny comedy bits, featuring Harvey Korman with musical interludes by Jefferson Starship, Lucas could see that he had a problem. Even Ford, Hamill, and Fisher, gamely reprising their film roles, couldn't transcend the material. All three looked miserable, though Fisher was thrilled at the chance to sing a Life Day song set to the tune of Williams' Star Wars theme. Yet another cringe-inducing moment. The only segment that sparked any interest from Lucas was an 11-minute animated feature by the Canadian company Nelvana Ltd, whatever that means.
Limited, yeah.
There you go. Which would give audiences their first look at Boba Fett, which you already mentioned. With the wheels coming off, all Lucas could do was let it go and take his name off of the show. Heavily promoted by CBS and eagerly awaited by fans, this was Star Wars on TV after all. The Star Wars Holiday Special aired on November 17, 1978, and was an unmitigated disaster. Producer Dwight Hemian called it, quote, the worst piece of crap I've ever done. Lucas called it a, quote, travesty. He had given up control and Star Wars had ended up looking stupid. It was a mistake he was determined not to make happen again. So that kind of explains why he became so heavily involved in like the prequels and shit like that. It's because he's like, I can't let this happen again. So say what you want about Jar Jar Binks and all that stuff. Yeah, you know what? We could have had another freaking holiday special on our hands. So, yeah,
they had originally intended for it to be like a yearly thing where they were going to do like a new special.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So again, praise the Lord for Jar Jar Binks, because you could have gotten that fucking chef again doing the stir, whip, stir.
Yeah.
So good. I'm just saying. Either Jar Jar.
And then sadly he did let it happen again when he sold Star Wars to Disney and allowed them to make the Rise of Skywalker. You fucker.
Yep.
Anyway, sorry.
Exactly. That movie's terrible.
I mean, I would rather watch that than this again, though. So,
I'd rather watch, a piece of shit do something. I don't know.
A holographic piece of shit dance on a chessboard or something.
Yes,
anyways,
doing the trailer for this movie.
Okay, so I probably don't have to ask this, Matt, but before we end here, would you recommend this movie or this special to anyone?
No, not even as a joke to goof off with your friends. Like maybe I would only use it like the way Carrie Fisher would, but just to get people to leave my house when I got bored with them. Like that would be the only purpose.
Yeah, I wonder if that works. Because if I ever have somebody over I don't want over, I might have to try that.
Yeah, just put don't announce that you're gonna put it on.
No,
then people might get,
just randomly put it on.
Your guest could be in the kitchen or whatever. You just go to your TV, turn it up real loud, and just sit there and watch it. And after the first 5 minutes, they'd be like, "Yeah, I think we gotta get going. We got wake up early tomorrow."
And when you watch it, you've got to watch it like you really love it.
Yeah, exactly.
So then they're really? so especially if it's like a friend you never want to have as a friend again, and
yeah.
Oh God.
Fuck you. Goodbye.
The next time a Jehovah's Witness comes to your door,
yes,
invite them in to watch this with you. Then maybe they'll stay. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. They might stay, but then now they're going to talk about, their religion to you.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to keep going back to TV going, you know what, this is my religion right here.
It's too bad we don't have door-to-door salesmen anymore, because this would be the perfect way to annoy them too.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, sure, come on in. And then they put their suitcase down or whatever, and they start hold on a sec, I want to show you something first. Then you can talk about your thing.
And be like, yeah, I'll buy your crappy steak knives if you just Cutco. All right.
Because Cutco actually has some pretty good knives, but the overall business model is terrible. But
Yeah. Anyways, anything else here, Matt? Before we blast off into a galaxy far, far away.
Just have a happy Life Day or Christmas if that's what you celebrate. And other holidays, I suppose. Hanukkah's probably over at this point, I think.
Festivus. Well, I mean, Christmas will be over by the time this airs too. So, yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or it might be. No, it might not be. I don't know. It might be airing on Christmas, but still.
Ooh.
Yeah. Depends on when I decide to put this up. But yeah. So.
I just apologize, I guess, for making people endure. Well, I mean, not making them. They made the choice to listen to this, but I apologize nonetheless, I guess. But then again, listening to us talk about it is not anywhere near as bad as actually watching the movie.
Yes.
So
that is true. Anyways, so if there are, have a happy New Year if this airs before the New Year. Happy Life Day. Happy Festivus.
happy holidays, which
in general.
we're not allowed to say anymore. We gotta say Merry Christmas now. That's the new rule.
Okay.
The Christians won the war on Christmas, so now people are forced. We have to say Merry Christmas now. We gotta do it. Now it's the rule that we must do it.
Yeah, fuck the Wookiees. Anyways, oh god. So, anyways, follow us on social media. Make sure you check out our Patreon. Please do it. Buy some cool shirts at TeePublic. We got that in the show notes. Follow us on Facebook. All the social needs.
We might have some, material like, Itchy watching, his Oculus porn. Probably not.
Maybe. Who knows? We might.
God.
But, anyways, love you all. Miss Jamal. And,
by the way, he would have loved this episode.
Oh, yeah. I was hoping to do this one day with him on here, so it kind of sucks. But,
it is, yeah.
Anyways, hopefully everybody's safe and wearing masks and stuff if you're still supposed to when you listen to this. And have a happy Life Day.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to All Too Real 2 podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Hawes. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.